Oh, hi. Well, if you're recently thinking about Virgin Galactic, then it's all about delays, right? The mothership delayed, the test flight for the Spaceship Two delayed. But is it a place to be concerned or a place to be happy? Well, exactly this we will talk about here in details in this vlog. Smashing that like button helps me a lot to really produce this daily content on your favorite stocks and the next 10x stock to 10x your investments and mine too, obviously. Now, let's talk about the Virgin Galactic test flights. We were all super excited, right? Because in the Q2 earnings call, they said that they want to make another or some final test flights towards the fall of this year. And then a couple of weeks ago, they gave us some dates. 1st to 7th October for the mothership, the White Knight 2, which brings the Spaceship 2 in the height of around 50,000 feet and then drop it, and then our Spaceship 2 usually goes into low orbit. Now on the other side, we had also a date for the Spaceship 2 to go for a powered test flight, the last one before we have a full rehearsal, and after that we have the first flight with Richard Branson. So very, very exciting news. But unfortunately the first one was rescheduled, and this was because of some kind of, I don't know if it was technical, but the spaceport made a message that it's weather-wise, it's schedule-wise. So as you can see, we had an explanation for that. Then came just a couple of days ago the delay message, or the PR, the news that the power test flight by the Spaceship 2 is also delayed. And without giving a new date, still it keeps to be in the fall. This is what the PR says. And I am obviously a little bit, sad, because I really want to see this things going on. But you have to understand that they are taking some very, very, very strong engineering challenges ahead, which are not that easy to solve. And sometimes it's just a small thing. I don't know if you have seen it, but the Blue Origin company by Jeff Bezos, they rescheduled their next test flight also a few times now. So this was never the case with Virgin Galactic before, except moving the date of the real operation and Richard Branson's flight. But test flights were usually always on schedule, and so I'm not that much of a concern. Rather, if the stock is going down on these occasions, which can be because the stock is very volatile, then I'm just buying more, guys, okay? And in the second category of this video, we definitely will look into the stock implications and to what it does to the stock, and if it does anything to the stock, and what you can imagine what can happen if the flight of Richard Branson will be delayed. Because this is obviously one scenario. You have to have always all scenarios on the table as a Virgin Galactic investor. Not only as a Virgin Galactic investor, but as an investor you should always have all the scenario listed up for your company and put some probability next to it. So even though I think the probability that they are moving the date or the quarter again for Richard Branson flight, I would say is maybe at 10 to 20%, so pretty low. But now I think the White Knight 2 test flight was delayed, and therefore they will say, that's why we need to delay also the Spaceship 2 test flight, and maybe this will have some implications to move also the flight of Richard Branson. But I don't know, okay? This is just a speculation, 10 to 20% probability in my personal opinion, but this would be fantastic because then the stock would go, well, let's discuss this in the second category. Before we diving into the stock implications for such delays of the test flight, I want to really encourage you maybe to check out our membership on this channel. By clicking the join button below this video or the link into the description, you can get to the membership section. You choose one of 3 membership, and the second, the Real Wolf, gives you access to our Discord chat, where we having a special channel just for Virgin Galactic, where we talk about news, about stock movements, everything that you might need to know as investor is there. And if you have even the courage and see the value to chat with me on regular basis about your portfolio, about your stocks, about my thoughts on your trading or whatsoever, then, make sure to check out the Ultimate Diamond membership. That is the highest tier that you can get. And if you don't see the join button below the video, just change the web browser and you will see it. Now let's talk about the stock. If you are having a look on the stock just after this news, right, you will see that it really didn't matter for the stock, because it just went straight from 15, 16 straight higher and higher and higher. So this means usually the stock is very volatile and very sensitive about these things, right? I mean, just a small bad news for one of those test flights or about the spaceship or whatsoever gives us usually a small dip. Now it didn't this time, right? Which is great news. I mean, this shows us that the stock get, mature, right? People are holding still because they know, the test flight will come in fall, so we're talking about October, November, and maybe beginning of December, but it will come, right? And therefore you will see that, more and more trust, more and more long-term investors are in this thing. Now, let's talk about what will happen when the Richard Branson flight will be delayed. Well, this is a total different story, because I think that the recent implication of the stock movement, which was done in the summer of this year, okay, as you remember, we went pretty high because there was the cabin reveal event, there was the or cabin reveal event anticipation and then we had the new CEO role, right? So the stock went up even to $26. And then what happened was actually the cabin reveal was like a digital reveal, so they revealed just the design, which was disappointing for many people because they thought they would see the real cabin installed in the spaceship, and it was a live stream, so they thought this may be a ghost through. Then we saw that also what happened was that the Virgin Galactic operation with Richard Branson that was supposed to, somehow expected by end of the year, was moved to the first quarter of 2021. Plus, they had an unexpected capital rise, which gives them, hundreds of millions new of dollars in the bank for developing the business. So all of these things, were not drastical, but as you can see, we went from hyping the stock to 25, 26 up to, 36.7% less. So what is my implication here? As higher we go now in the next couple of weeks until Q3, where we maybe get some new news for the delayed test flights for the flight of Richard Branson, if we are still on schedule, we could quite heavily crash with Virgin Galactic stock in case of, a movement of the date or the quarter of Richard Branson. But now the real question is, what do we do then? And this is what we will discuss in the conclusion. Now, exactly here I would like to have you at the conclusion, because here we, the mystery that we created over the last two categories will be solved here. What do I do? What do I do when the delayed flight of Richard Branson will be announced? Well, I will definitely sell not a single stock of Virgin Galactic, because first of all, as you know, I'm a long-term investor. So I'm investing in the company. If the fundamental story doesn't change, I keep on the stock. Second, you have no idea what can happen short term, okay? It can be that the stock might fall 5% and then go back up to the 10%, 20%, okay? Because they will say, everything is ready, we're just waiting for something to be approved, and then, Richard Branson goes in the first days of the second quarter. Whatsoever, you never know what's happening. Or they announce something totally crazy, like for example the new CEO or the Mach 3 airplane. So you never know what happens short term. This is not me talking, guys. This is also billionaires like Ron Barron. When CNBC reporters ask him what will happen, he's answering them the same. Listen to that.
What we worry about are not stock prices. when we're an investor in a business, we worry about the business. And the short term, I can't have any clue about what's going to happen. I do think that it's now a $400 billion market cap. It was $40 billion when we started. I've said for a long time I thought it was going to be $1 to $2 trillion. With what developments have taken place recently, I think $2 trillion is the right number. So I think it's 5 times from here.
So I'm not a believer of short-term, crazy returns. What really counts is I would be very happy when this happened, okay? Because then I hope that the stock would go further down, and buying Virgin Galactic more at $12 or even $10 would be my wildest dream, okay? But this, I think, will not happen, and therefore, just in case this will happen, you will know what I will do, and I hope you join our community as well. And I obviously see you in just a couple of hours, because there's so much content, usually 4 videos per day between my main channel and my second channel. Subscribe to both. Thank you very much. Take care.